15 years ago, when we moved home, my dad bought a set of traditional Chinese wood carving furniture. Back then, I saw those were the ugliest pieces of furniture I had ever seen. They were clumsy, bland, and uncomfortable, and the intricate wood carvings on the furniture seemed too complex and overwhelming. But 15 years later, I started appreciating the beauty of Chinese wood carvings in a small city called Dongyang. The key to appreciating the beauty of Dongyang wood carving is to understand its connection to the Chinese architecture. This is what I learned when I visited Dongyang Wood Carving Museum. This museum explains the history of the development of wood carving in China. It also displays some original and duplicate pieces of wood-carved works from different dynasties. What impressed me most is the wood-carved beings from the Lu's residence in Dongyang, as well as the wood-carved Guanyin Bodhisattva from the Song dynasty. The modern wood carvings, carved with sophisticated skills, use high-end wood materials, and are presented as sculptures or paintings embedded into the walls. However, no matter how creative or grand they became, they didn't touch my heart as much as seeing the wood-carved beings or kobolds from old residences. To figure out why, I went to Lu's residence, the most significant example of Dongyang wood carvings in Chinese architecture. The recorded history of Dongyang wood carving dates back to the Tang dynasty, but its origin is closely related to the migration of the noble class from the northern part of China to the south during a period of war before the Tang dynasty. The demand for luxurious lifestyles and competition among the upper class stimulated the creation of Dongyang Bang. This group of wood-carving craftsmen took orders from noble and wealthy families residing around Donyang. Dongyang Bang lived and worked together. The wood carvings on the architecture were a collective creation by the group. This is probably why the beings and kobolds in Lu's residence are so captivating. Working as a group allowed them to generate abundant ideas and employ various techniques to meet the client's requests, whether it was to convey a moral or tell a story through the carvings. We are now at the Lu's residence. This residence is the so-called the Forbidden Palace, or Forbidden City of the Folk's World. It's called this name because it's really big and really well decorated. It shares the same layout of the real Forbidden Palace in Beijing. It has 9 courts aligned together like a barbecue. And the distance from the entrance to the backyard is more than 300 meters. It has more than 1,000 of different rooms serving different purposes. Lu's residence is the residence of the very famous and rich family of Lu in the Ming and Qing dynasty. In the history, the ancestors of the Lu's family achieved lots of success through the Keju system. We explained Keju in the previous episode, so if you're interested, you can have a look there. That's why they have such a big wealth, abundant resources to build this kind of palace-like residence. Lu's residence is very famous for its wood carving, especially those wood-carved beams and decorations in architecture. Lots of people come here just to admire those old-style, exquisite wood carving. Last time we visited the Museum of Wood Carving, and today we are going to the shopping mall, the market of wood carving, just like 500 meters away from the museum. I want to find some interesting small pieces of wood carving that I can take with me as souvenirs. So let's see if I have the luck. We're here. Dongyang, China wood carving city. It seems quite quiet here. Not many people, which is good. I can smell the wood now. Very charming. Ooh. Wow. It's very traditional Chinese furniture. There's a big set of this kind of wood carving furniture at my home as well. It's huge. Honestly, I never found it beautiful in the past probably 10 years. I didn't ask my dad how much he invested in this whole set of furniture, but he told me it's like a furniture of heritage. So I guess it's not cheap at all. Oh, look at that. These wood carving sculptures. Wow. Of 6 pieces of different furniture is sold at 23k RMB. That's roughly 3.5k dollar. 3.5k dollar, 3,500, and this is the sales price. They are doing the wood carving from this very old wood. You can see the shape of the horses are really vivid. 这是什么木头啊，老板？金丝楠木。金丝楠木，这个一般要做多久才做得完？这是属于半成品，还是说已经做完了？这个2个月。2个月，这个一般一个艺术品要多少钱才能卖得下来？15000。15000。我这个是上了漆还是没上漆？还没上漆。It's very interesting to see the details of here. You can see the house and a third person under the pine trees, and some pavilions, and more people here, and the bridge. When I visited Dongyang, China woodcarving city, I noticed the significant change in the landscape of Dongyang woodcarvings today. The collaborative working style of Dongyang has been replaced by individual craftsmen studios. With the absence of orders for building and furnishing luxurious family residences, the wood carvings nowadays have transitioned into ornaments, figurines, sculptures, or painting-like screens, aside from the traditional furniture. And at that point, I realized that there is another factor behind the beauty of traditional Dongyang wood carvings. From the Tang Dynasty to the Qing Dynasty, Dongyang wood carvings perfectly combine decorative aesthetics with practical function. For example, the carvings on the beams and cobbles were also used to hang things like palace lanterns. So, what does the future hold for Dongyang wood carvings? I've been asking myself this question. Will it find a place in Chinese home design as millions of apartments replace traditional residences? Or will it evolve into a purely decorative art form,